innovation is new idea. If new idea is innovation, then why strategy and scientific data required? So consider one of the example, just we will understand by one of the example. Calcium deficiency, human contains around 2.5 to 3 gram kg of the calcium. To fulfill this deficiency, we required lots of calcium. So there is a simple innovation. Ask anybody to eat 50 grams of calcium carbonate. Idea is very simple. This innovation solves the problem of dosage for 2 to 3 months twice a day. This solves expenses over manufacturing also, issue of dosage dispensing, etc., etc. So it is really an innovative idea. Do you think so? No one can absorb 50 gram of calcium carbonate or even 5 gram of calcium in a day. So practically, idea is not applicable, means innovation fails here. So it's proven that for building an innovation strategy, scientific data and other perspective are required. What's the product fit for market? The next example we'll just understand. Previously, we were dispensing paracetamol 250 mg and 500 mg tablet in thrice a day, TID. Calculation was giving a dose of 1.5 gram for 75 kg human in a day. Instead of that, a product 650 mg paracetamol is introduced, which gives 1.3 gram dose by considering average weight of as 65 kg person. So now a dose become twice a day instead of thrice a day. So this is an as we can say a product fit, right? So just find out the new product fit which gives lots of advantage, like number one, dosage compliance increase. Number two, no considerable increase in the manufacturing cost. So let's discuss a second example in a short time. The intraocular lenses, previously solid PMMA lenses, were used for cataract surgery, which makes compulsion to surgeon to make a big incision of the size of the lens. So and then we find out the new product, that is foldable lenses, which not only reduce the incision size but also reduce the post-operative recovery and complications. So with these examples, you might get clear on importance of the today's seminar. This seminar will give you a new ideas, finding out the practical solutions, commercial feasibilities for the innovation. Now I request Dr. Rajesh B. Patil sir, Principal, Sinhagad College of Pharmacy, to welcome our speaker and give more insight about today's topic. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Gadve sir. Good afternoon, all. First of all, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank each one of you for joining this session. I could see reasonably good number of students joined this session. Maybe students from different places, different colleges, including SCOP. They have registered and attending this e-session. I'm very happy to see your interest in innovation and your keenness to understand different aspects of innovation. I welcome you all in this e-session on building an innovation product fit for market. On behalf of students and faculty of SCOP, I also bid welcome to today's speaker, Dr. Santosh Gezge. A special thanks to him on accepting our invitation on very short notice and sparing his valuable time out of his busy schedule. I'm very happy to have you as a speaker. I'm sure out of your vast experience and scholarly aptitude, you would enlighten us on innovations, product fit for market. I'm happy for one more reason, Dr. Santosh. You are Government College of Pharmacy Karad alumnus, and we all at GCOPK alumni share a special bond.
Okay.
No matter where when we pass out. A warm welcome to Dr. Santosh. Regarding today's e-session, I would add that since maybe last 5 years or so, India is making a great and rapid progress in the area of innovation, entrepreneurship. If you could see, India stood at 48th position in year 2020 in Global Innovation Index ranking, and at 78th position in Global Entrepreneurship Index. So this is a very rapid and upward shift. Undoubtedly, this is due to policies and measures taken by Ministry of Education, Government of India, and its innovation cell. As we know, in 2018, Ministry of Education, through its innovation cell, in collaboration with AICT, they launched this Institutions Innovation Council, IIC, which are functional in many colleges, almost in each and every college which is affiliated to AICT. The objective of starting this IIC program was to foster the culture of innovation and startup ecosystem in higher education institutions. IICs in particular have a primary task of empowering faculty, students in innovations and entrepreneurship related activities, maybe like ideation, problem solving, proof of concept development, design thinking, IPR, maybe at pre-incubation or incubation level. I'm very happy and proud for our IIC of our college, which is very active and functional. The efforts put in by IIC coordinator, who is Dr. Sadhna Raut, the innovation ambassador, Dr. Anpise Madam, and other faculty members. Your contributions are really commendable. I also appreciate the work by coordinator, Dr. Gadve sir, and the organizing committee for arranging this e-session in a very short span of time. I'm really proud that because of your efforts of maybe all faculty and your earlier contributions in innovation, Siyangarh College of Pharmacy recently it has conferred with Band B institution, that is the rank 25 to 50 institutions in Atal ranking of innovations on innovation achievement, that is ARIA. That is the biggest achievement so far, and that too ours is only institution from Maharashtra to achieve this. That's the noteworthy achievement, and we would be achieving still better in future. On similar lines, the today's e-session, recently SCOP IIC has organized a couple of e-sessions such as thought process prototype to startup, which was delivered by Dr. Neha Gujar, King's Biosolutions, Pune. Another session was accelerator incubators, opportunities for students and faculties, early stage entrepreneurs by Nilesh Lele, who is the founder director of Exelon Food Bio Advertisers, and couple of other e-sessions were also conducted, organized earlier. I'm sure these e-sessions must have helped the students and faculties to understand ideation and prototype, conversion of idea and prototypes into startup, and different incubation opportunities. Going one step ahead, today we have organized this e-session to understand the means and ways to build or prototype an innovation or a product perfectly suitable for market. Just now, Gadve sir in his preamble quoted a few examples. So no doubt the innovations, however innovations are there, but they should be suitable for market, otherwise they will wane away, no doubt about it. So we are fortunate enough that we have amongst us the perfect resource person who can contribute and who can tell us about the product which is innovation, which is perfectly suitable for market. Dr. Santosh, who is currently working in development of innovations and pharmaceutical products, he can surely contribute in today's talk. He knows the needs of market, he knows the needs of healthcare sector, and above all, he knows the needs of common people. Certainly, he will be guiding us to build innovations or products fit for market. I hope this e-session will be very productive and worthy of your precious time. With this brief note, I welcome once again all the participants and today's resource person, Dr. Santosh Gesge sir. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed motivating and extremely informative. We are so honored and privileged to have you amongst us. I would now like to request Mrs. Suvarna Vakare ma'am to please introduce our guest speaker for today.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me introduce you to Dr. Santosh Gesge. Sir has completed PG and PhD from ICT Mumbai, which is the topmost university in Maharashtra. He has done PG diploma in chemical technology management and in patent law as well. He is truly from few who has diversified experience in industry, academics and research, all three domains. By now, he has filed 2 Indian patents. One is along with industry. First patent is on pharmaceutical compositions containing melt extruded ibuprofen and fixed dose combinations thereof. And the second one is directly compressible grade APIs excipients by melt granulation technology. Gesge sir has published 1 research paper and 2 more papers of his are under review. His industrial achievements are 19 commercial products introduced so far, 1 tablet, 2 liquids, and 16 semi-solids. 4 commercial technologies delivered to industries. He is actively working in novel drug delivery system with focus on utilization of melt forms of drug. Presently, he is a founder director of Novetra Laboratories Private Limited, delivering innovative formulation solutions to healthcare industry. He is also a member of various professional bodies like Associate Member of Royal Society of Chemistry, London, Member of International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering, Life Member of Karad Pharmacy Student Federation, Life Member of UDCT Alumni Association, Mumbai. With this brief introduction, I would request Dr. Santosh Gesge to deliver his talk to building an innovation product fit to market. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Suvarna madam, for this short introduction of me. And I also thank Dr. Rajesh Patil sir, who is now principal at SCOP Pune. I also thanks Professor Sandeep Kadve sir for giving me an opportunity to deliver this session and sharing my knowledge with the
Thank you, sir.
I'll say upcoming scientists, because new people was currently at in their bee farms. They are the budding scientists because they will drive the innovation path particular. And I'll among one of the you only because we have done a graduation at Karad College. I'll particularly diploma from Karad College and I also graduated from Pandharpur College, where we were the foundation batch. We don't have the seniors to guide us. We have limited resources for developing the new projects and having some certain limitations at the new college itself. But I'll tell you, when you have a new concepts or new ideas inside you, you don't find any limitations to you. Because when we were at Pandharpur College itself, and the management is so helpful that if you have some ideas, that you can take a help of other colleges, right? So I'll tell you one of the some of the concepts that you can develop at your college itself. And with the today's speech of Professor Rajesh Patil sir, I'm happy that the Sinhgad College of Pharmacy is doing lots of activities inside the with this innovation council itself. And congratulations to the IIC team members who is delivering so many activities, so many knowledge pathways to the students. Because after graduation from the college itself, I'll definitely sure some of you will definitely convert your ideas into a successful product, and that will generally leads to and startups. So basically startups is nothing but an entrepreneurship journey basically. So with the today's speech, I'm going to give you some of the knowledge that you require to understand what is the requirement of market particular, and how you can fulfill this requirement, the needs, the solutions, convert either it's in a process or it might be you can call it as a product, so that is fit to the market particularly. So Sandeep sir, if you can start my PPT, so we can start the presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes. Give me a 1 minute.
Aishwarya, put off your video.
Sir, is it visible?
Yeah,
It's visible. You can go to next slide.
Okay, sir. Sir. No.
Could you start
Can
it
you
in
make it full screen?
slides? Yeah,
Just a
slides should show more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
My presentation will be delivered in two parts basically. First part, that we need to understand the product market fit. Second part, that is the product market fit for healthcare sector particularly. If we'll see the chemical industry, which is the backbone of the India's industrial and agriculture development, right? So there are so many growth targets in industry particularly. So that will require the combination of policy intervention by government itself. You require some of the company level initiatives. You also require industry academic partnerships, right? And along with the most important part, that you require a wise investment particularly. And after developing all these activities, you need a wider experience, and you need a great international access to your products. Then and then only you can fit the particular product. It might be domestic market, it might be industry market. We can see these growth, bulk chemicals and pharmaceuticals. they are almost more than 50% contribution to the Indian chemical sector particularly itself. Next slide. And if you can see the contribution from GDP itself, 2.1%. And if you can see the chemical sector, particularly manufacturing sector, almost 16% we are contributing. That is the chemical sector in India's growth particularly itself. And we have more than 80,000 commercial products under this chemical sector itself. And if you can see the volume itself, we are the 6th largest producer inside the world by the sale value itself, which is more than 93 US billion dollars in 2015. Now this figure has moved to 100 billion US dollars, which is almost more than 3% of the global share. Next slide. This is one survey which was published by the Department of Chemicals and Pharmaceutical Sciences by Secretary Mr. Rajiv Kapoor sir. If you can see the India's contribution, India's particularly size, the chemical sector itself is more than 7 lakh crores, which is almost 7.7 crores. And if you can combine the manufacturing sector along with pharmaceutical sector, that can cross almost 12 lakhs crores. Correct? Next slide. So you can clearly see that chemical industry, which is the key enabler of the economic growth itself. So you can take a cell phone, solar panels, right, that can produce a carbon-free energy, to LED lights, which is providing efficient lighting. So all are made by the chemical industry products itself. So basically, you require knowledge and capital intensive for building blocks for downstreaming industries, such as you can go either in textiles, you can go inside the paper industry, you can go in paint industry, soaps, detergent, pharmaceuticals, and many more industries. So if we can categorize the chemical industry itself, because it can divide it into particularly 7 parts, major 7 parts. So we have a bulk chemicals, we have petrochemicals, we have agrochemicals, then we have specialty chemicals, then color chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and now the emerging is the biotechnology. That's the next slide. Next. Yes, the major important part that is you need to understand, that is product design and their research and development. We call that PDR&D, right? So product design and R&D is a cycle of continuous improvement over the time. So which includes the major 5 steps. But first, you need an idea generation. Correct? From that idea, you are also important to know what will be the right selection of my product. Correct? You have selected the idea, you have selected the product. Now you have to develop the product. Correct? Next, you need to protect your idea or product, and finally you need to launch into market, right? So it might be the industrial design, it might be the process design, right? And you need to understand the product engineering, because when you do the product R&D at lab scale, that it might be your college or it might be R&D department, right? You need to scale up to a higher level. So you require a good product engineers. So basically chemical engineers, they convert the lab scale product at a largest level, right? Then you need to test it. And with the help of marketing team, you need to understand the market research. Basically, ensure the product innovations, which will be the commercial success. So you need an extensive amount of investment is done to be made with the aim to extend the market life of the particular product, right? Next. So product development is a broad field of endeavor which deals with the design, creation, and marketing of new products, right? So you need a core team to launch this journey particular, right? you require a product team, you require a process development team, and lastly, you require a marketing team. And that whole team has to be controlled by the management body. We call it a steering committee, right? So how you can give a great product to market, right? Either you acquisite it, we call acquisition. So basically you buy a whole company or a new product patent, or you can take a license from the particularly inventor that is having a technology, right? I'll give you one of the example. You, I think most of you see television, right? So if you can see the example of Sensodyne, right, by GSK. Initially, the product which is not in the portfolio of GSK, it was the one of the UK-based company who is having the formulation, but they don't know the actual market size of this sensitive tooth products. When GSK brought this product inside his basket, particularly, they have done extensive survey. And if you'll see the geographical this product fit inside the market, and I'll say this is one of the most successful product by the acquisition itself. If you'll see the some of the regional TV channels, I'll give you one of the marketing strategy of the GSK. When you see some of the Marathi channels, there is a one Marathi doctor sitting at UK itself who tells you in Marathi, right? So I recommend this product to those who are not consuming like ice creams, right? Like then you can also have a hot tea, right? When you go in a Hindi channel itself, there is a particularly a North Indian guy who's recommending this product for specifically for North Indian people, right? And the same when you go in the South India itself, there is a particular South Indian doctor who's sitting at a foreign country who's recommending this product. Because when you see this recommendation from the regional doctor itself, who can speak a regional language, right? You have a large capturing of the market by the product itself, right? Secondly, what you can do in new product, you can develop itself an original product. You can do some of the improvements, also modifications, and based on this modification, you give lots of brands, and that can generate lots of revenue itself, right? Next slide. So you need to have a learning from adjacent areas, right? It's not only the formulation aspect. You need to have clear understanding of chemistry. You need to have clear understanding of pharmacology. Then you need to have chemistry, chemical engineering, marketing research, where already a chemical and technological problem or solutions are already exist, right? So the core issue in product design is the development, and it's an optimal way particularly. So these products particularly, who require this product are basically consumers, right? Since we are in pharma graduates, but pharma is the one of the sector of chemical industry. So you need to consider a large area or broad perspective of the consumers, right? So the Kessler and Morgage particularly, they define this product design is a procedure basically by which consumer requires, consumer needs are translated into a commercial products, right? So there are two types of needs, right? So there are some kind of commerce industrial consumers who develops the raw material inside the particular products, which is not the end products, but some of the intermediates we call it, right? And there are some of the target peoples who are the consumers, who are the end users, particular. So this product design, which is basically brings together product and process development, because they join together to have a successful journey, particularly. Next slide. If you can see this process of product development, particularly, we have one brand, and that brand belongs to particular product, right? So Sensodyne is particularly a toothpaste, right, which can give relief from sensitive tooth. And the Sensodyne is a brand by GSK who has put up on this sensitive toothpaste, right? So if you can crush down this particularly brand, we have different verticals, right? So we have a product design which requires need to know the process technology, right? In process technology, you have different aspects such as how you can handle this particular materials, right? So we have different aspects like application, as Kadvesar has said, is its dosage, its removal, its storage, transportation, packaging aspects, right? When you go in chemistry particular part, right, we have different raw materials. We call it as excipients in a pharmaceutical field, right? So how this excipient, when we add together or develop a particular formulation, we need to understand its chemistry, its performance particular, correct? As the chemistry changes of the particular product, its particular dosage form that also get changed, right? And after putting all this handling and performance aspects, finally the aesthetic part, right? So that can be handled by process engineers particular. And this aesthetics parts are basically elements of the product design, right? Let's take an example of cosmetics, right? So you can change the color, you can change the particular form, you can change it to the odor, you can change the haptic, and lastly the packaging, correct? Some of the examples of aesthetics. I'll share one of my success story of the one of the sunscreen product. Most of the girls, they are using the sunscreens, right? So there are two types of sunscreen in the markets particular. One is the chemical sunscreen and second is the physical sunscreens. I'm asking you, how many of you seen the commercial advertisement of La Shield? La Shield sunscreen. Yes. La Shield sunscreen. From
No.
last 4 months, so you're not seeing the television, right? So basically, La Shield sunscreen is basically one of the first product in India market, which is a physical sunscreens, right? In your second year or might be first year B Farm, you have developed one product called a zinc oxide ointment BP, right? How many of you developed the product? Yes. Have you done the practicals of this zinc oxide ointment BP? Yeah,
No,
right.
sir.
You have not done this practicals. Okay. So what is the category of zinc oxide particularly?
Dentifrice.
Sorry.
To relieve skin irritation.
Right, skin irritation, antiseptic properties, correct, astringent properties, correct. So one of the good product of this zinc oxide ointment BP is an Apirash cream, right? Am I right? So basically, I'll share one of the example with you. Most of you have seen the test matches, test cricket matches, right? When it started in a daylight, particularly, have you seen some of the players who's putting the white material on their faces to protect from the sunburn? Have you
Yes,
seen this
sir.
product? Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Suppose, correct. In India, in chemical sunscreen, there are two major ingredients. One is OMC, octyl methyl cinaminate, and second is octizinate. Okay. So it was clearly understood by the US persons or US population. When you apply this chemical-based sunscreens, there is good number of scientific data available. When you frequently use this chemical-based sunscreens, you might get chances of skin cancer, right? When in US, when you go in US particularly, when you need to purchase this particular chemical sunscreen, you require a prescription from the dermatologist particularly, because they are much more aware of their skin. But in India, when you go to the nearest retail shop, you will find out a product sold by VLCC, right? And there are multi other products sold by the chemical companies, correct? Because we are not aware. Whatever the product available, we just take it and we apply, correct? And in India, since we are into tropical fields, this is particularly terminology called a SPF, right? Have you seen this SPF 30, SPF 50? Now I see some of the product SPF 70, correct? It's basically sun protection factor, correct? And when you done this practical of zinc oxide ointment, and when you understand the chemistry of the zinc oxide particularly itself, the zinc oxide is a good reflective agent of UV rays, right? You can see some of the products, chemical sunscreens, right? It was written and claims protection from UV rays, UVA, UVB, IR rays, right? But the two material itself, the zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, they are the good reflectors of UV lights, because this UV band, which is contributing more than 94% of the total UV path, right? So when we were in our final year PhDs particularly, we are developing one product for the company called Sherry Laboratories Private Limited in New Bombay itself. So they are interested to develop some of the chemical-free sunscreen, because people are surrounded by the terminologies, right? Chemical sunscreens, and we are much more aware of this term called as chemical-free, right? So we found two materials, the zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. When we put up inside this formulation, it can be have a good physical sunscreens. I call it physical sunscreen because they're just reflecting the UV lights, right? But when I given the example of the test cricket match and the initial days, 8 years back, most of the cricket players, they are putting this zinc oxide based creams, titanium dioxide creams, and they have the white patches. We call it as ghost effect. If I'll give you this product to the girls, right? And when you apply this particular product, right, you have the ghost effect. Are you able to go into the outside from your home? Can you use this product?
No.
It's an interactive session. Okay, so I need some of the answers from you. I need some of the inputs from you. So basically, you will not use this product because it's not putting the right aesthetic inside the product. But when we simply cut down the particle size of zinc oxides and titanium dioxide particularly, that is particularly inside the nanoform itself. This nano particularly, because the nano you cannot see by your open eyes, right? You require specific instrumentation technologies to see inside the under the microscopes. So we got some of the products from one of the company called Antaria from Australia, and another company from the Daiichi Sankyo, who is from the Japanese company. So they have this dispersion of zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, which are loading from 50 to 70%. And when we use this product, we develop 25% of zinc dispersion cream particularly, and we have done lots of studies of this particular cream, and we give this product to Glenmark Pharmaceuticals. It took almost 2 years to us to get the product launched inside the market, because the government's particulars they are not accepting. But when we shown some of these clinical studies and some of the UV blocking activities, they accepted our proposals. Now this Glenmark Pharmaceuticals have launched this product with the brand name called La Shield. You can see this product in the commercial store near to you. Next slide. So to become a successful product in market, which has to be ensured by chemistry and chemical engineering particular. Also, you need to involve the marketing team from the start itself. They knows the market and the link with the customers. Okay, next. So as I said, with the example of zinc oxide dispersion, right? Some materials they are into solid in form, some materials they are solid liquid form, and some materials they are into liquid particularly forms, right? In solid itself, you can generate the micro powders, crystals, agglomerates, granules, pastils, and beads particular, right? In liquid itself, solid liquid, you can make a paste, you can make suspensions, you can also make a dispersions, right? And between the solid liquid and liquid, we have emulsions, right? So this emulsion, when we go on a higher side, we have nano emulsions particularly, right? So I'll give you how you simply modify the physical properties of the material itself to have the fulfillment of requirement of industrial buyers. Next slide. So first, as a pharma person, we are formulators, right? And we need to ask some of the questions, right? First question you need to ask, do the customers really need this product? Right. Second question, in what shape do they want this product? Correct. Because we are much more aware of this terminology called as dosage forms, right? If you give this powder zinc oxide to this consumers, you can apply to your face, they will not accept it. So you need to put up this powder of zinc oxide, a dispersion simply say, in the right way that can be used by the consumers, right? Second, do the customers gain the objective in the form of additional benefits? Correct. Next question you need to ask, do the customers like my product that I've developed? Second, most important, why we are developing this product? Because we are developing the product to fulfill the idea or the need, and that is need has to be sell out for something which is nothing but a cash or some other form of money, right? So will the customers accept the value for the money? Second, how have the customer experiences have been with the manufacturers and my brands? And after doing all these questionnaires, the last question, will the customer buy my product for market? Correct. In marketing itself, the customer is basically, I call it as bakra. Why we call it as bakra? Because we are not developing product for single use, right? Because if you see the advertisements of these large organizations such as Hindustan Unilever, Reckitt Benckiser, they are aggressively putting on marketings because is a bakra is basically a repeat consumer, a repeat customer we call it, because we have made millions and trillions of the volumes of this product, and that has to be consumed by the consumers, right? So particularly it has to be repeat purchase of the product, correct? Second, next slide. Professor, next slide. Okay, so it's a journey of 5 pathways particular, right? You file an application to convert this into the product alternatives, correct? That is in lab itself. And when you go to a higher level, we call that pilot plants. Suppose in lab itself, you make at 500 grams of batch. When you go to the pilot scale, that 10 times, that is 50 kg, right? Or 5 kg particularly, that has to be done in successful way. With the help of the chemical engineers, you need to optimize some of the process parameters and convert this product large scale become a successful commercial product from your industry, right? Next slide. Can you make it full screen? Go to previous slide. Previous slide, Sandeep sir. So this is the example of sodium perborate. Okay. Sodium perborate is specifically used in detergents, oxychlorobitch particularly. In initial days, it was in powder form. Now it is currently in a granular form. Correct? So you need to understand all the aspects of analytical chemistry, physical chemistry, application technology, and process engineering. Correct? Simply, the powder itself you cannot sell in the market. So when you convert this powder inside the granules, you have a large area that can be captured by the granular product. Next slide. So there are three different verticals particularly. There are some of the players in market who are just only making raw materials. There are some group of customers who produces the goods for the consumers. They are only the manufacturers. And lastly, the consumers particularly. Correct? When you have this raw material suppliers, they have a close cooperation with the industrial customers. I call it as industrial customers. So it might be the consumer goods, it might be the durable goods, investment goods, correct? So they take some of the interviews of the consumer. What properties do you require from our materials, correct? And these consumer groups are particularly taking the consumer tests particularly with the product application in households with the statistically validated results particularly. And based on these results, I can have a successful product inside the market. So this is the path of new product from an idea to the market. Next slide. So how you evaluate the ideation part, right? Correct. We call it NPD, new product development, right? So there's a set of customers. I said first customer is my industrial customer who's doing B2B business. So this industry has some of the product requirements. And this product requirements, they sent for testing by the manufacturing industries. And this industry particularly, they do some of the performance report, and if required, inside it, they do some of the modifications. And these modifications are particularly they received from the manufacturing end. And based on this modification, I'll do the product testing. And if this product testing is okay, I'll send to the purchase department with an order quantity, its price, and my delivery time, right? And I'll make a contract for future requirements. As I said, I don't require the product for a single use because if I'm putting an industry, I'll have the forecast of say 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, right? Next. This was for particularly industrial customers. Now, second, that is we have a consumer, that is a B2C business we call it as. So you have a consumer needs, right? And this consumer needs that has to be consulted with selected group of people, correct? Because when I require this product, that has to be with the fine tune with the design particular. So initially, you can do this fine tuning with a focus group, which is nothing but a group of 10, 12 to 15 people for product evaluation. And this focus group's evaluation, which gives an inputs for branding and feedback of the particular product, correct? And you set some of the questionnaire, and finally you ask them, would you like to buy the product at which price particular, right? And out of this 12, less than if 7 people agrees with the product idea, correct, we can say this concept is not working, correct. So if 8 people agrees with your particularly product, you can go to the next step, correct. Next. So there are some tests that has to be done. First is called a concept test, correct. You give this product to 100 to 250 customers, okay, that has to be divided into male and females particularly, correct. The product is only viewed, physical perception of the product, but ask them not to use this. First, the physical appearance of my product is very, very important. And this participation evaluation that has to be done on buying intention, particular, the uniqueness of the product, the personal relevance, and creditability in school grades. You can give the credits from 1 to 5. 1, not accepting the product. 5, more acceptance to the product. If I'll get a positive results, then I'll start with the concept to use test for my product design, product uses. And the product convinces skeptical consumers of its benefits, then I say my concept to use test is successful. Next. Second, that is the home use test. That means another consumer test that involves 200 customers, male and females, which represents the home use test. 2 products. One is the new development, the second the competitor's product. And participants fill out the questionnaires with the strength and weaknesses of the particular product, right? So based on this consumer use test and home use test, you develop particular specifications for industrial consumers. Next. Correct. So there are 3 parts of the specification of the product, right? So when you buy a new mobile phone, what particular features, I'll say specification, do we look out? Yes, anyone? First, you will see the RAM, you will see the storage capacity, you will see the camera, right? And next, the size of the mobile, right? So similarly, with the industrial consumers, we require to design the specification of the product in 3 different groups. First, the particle characterization, second, aesthetics, and third, the physicochemical characteristics, right? With respect to our pharmaceutical industry, specific category called as APIs. So this physicochemical characteristics, which is playing in many more aspects particularly, correct? If you have seen some of the certificate of analysis, you will see some of the parameters, right? Water content, dissolution rate, porosity, specific surfaces, right? Density, wall density, right? And particle size distribution, correct? Next. And why there is a need for NPD? So basically the purpose of NPD, because there already exists a gap in the market, new consumer pressures, the drop in consumer loyalty or loss in the market share, or we need to have a new ideas, technologies, correct? Also an important part, that is an emerging consumer demands, and to maintain a standard and sustainability with your product, and also to sustain the organization particular. Next. So the 4 broad aspects of the product design and research and development process. We have a idea generation, product selection, product development, and lastly the launch, right? Next slide. Correct. And how you launch this product, correct? If you see the cumulative cash generation with respect to the time, then it's the next slide. So basically, go to previous slide. We require a certain time for the idea generation and product selection, right? In this initial phase, you can clearly see we are putting money for developing the product itself. We don't have revenues, right? And when we have right product in our hand with an protection of intellectual properties, we launch this product as a startup company, right? And this requires the time to put up inside the market. Here you can have the successful launch, correct? And the money that is required to develop the product and some of the marketing expenses, right? That is have the negative break-even point. And when we have this product with a good time scale to volume particularly, I see the rise in the revenue of my company, correct? And at a certain time, when this point comes, we call it as the break-even point particularly. And when it has fulfilled the sufficient number of setup customers, I need to come up with the product extensions to capture the brand value and to utilize this brand value inside the cash itself. Next slide. So this is one of the classic examples of product innovations, right? So basically, product innovation is market introduction of a new, or we call it as significantly improved goods with respect to its capabilities, user friendliness, components, or subsystems. Correct? Can you see the journey of mobile phones from last 15 years? We have a mobile phone with the keypads, right? Then we move towards the Nokia era. I call it Nokia era up to the 2012. But when this Samsung, Oppo, Vivo, they launch their smartphone inside the market itself, we move towards the higher era of getting the smartest smartphone in your hands, right? So product innovations, we call it as either a new product or an improved product, we call it as must be new to the enterprise, but they do not need to be new to the market. Correct? So the product innovations would have been originally developed within the enterprise or by other enterprises. I'll share one of the good story of Steve Jobs. Did you know Steve Jobs, when he has taken the post of CEO in Apple itself, the first thing that he has taken the biggest decision was to cut down 495 projects that was running at that time in Apple industry, because this touchpad based, because it's basically LED screen, correct? Earlier it was LCD, liquid crystal display. Now we have LED screen, right? Did you know this LCD and LED, which was having an innovation in the year 1971, Steve Jobs, he knows that someone from US has filed a patent for this LCD and LED displays for the television screens, mobile phones. But he thought that was not right time to launch this product inside the market. Correct? In India, up to 2005, we were using simply the the keypad based mobile phones. Correct? But in US, it was already in the year 2000. That is, Apple and other companies has launched this product. Can you use nowadays the Micromax, Lava, correct, and Carbon mobile phones? Anyone of you? Still any chances of using this Micromax, Carbon, Lava mobile phones?
No,
Yes.
no, sir.
Okay. So what did you think the biggest problem with these three mobile phones?
Lack of technology. New
Yeah,
updates.
perfect word, the lack of technology. So I need more correct, specific answer. I'll give you a hint. There is a connection with the Geo.
Four G.
Correct.
4G network compatible.
Because exactly. Because they are not delivering the right product innovation that can suit to the market. Correct. Let's remind those days when we buy a 2 GB or 1 GB data at the price of 250 rupees or 300 rupees. Right. When Jio introduced his network in Indian territory, initially for the first 6 months, it was a free data to everyone, right? So the particularly company has creating the market for their network. When the 4G introduced in Indian market itself, it has diminished various players such as our Indian companies like Micromax, Carbon and Lava, because a simple chip that can enable network of 4G. Correct. So when anytime when you visit Gurgaon, particularly, was the one of the biggest offices of Micromax in Gurgaon, particularly. But they are not ready to accept the change of the market. They are not giving the right product innovation inside their mobile phones. Now, they're simply having an 1 BHK flat currently operating from their office. The simple use of the technology that can take up that 4G signal. So you need to have the right product innovation by your enterprise. This Steve Jobs have only taken up the 5 successful projects and asked the whole R&D team to give focus on this 5 projects only. So they have introduced only 2 biggest successes. One, that is the iPhone. Second, the iPad, right? So this was the focus, the leader to give the right product to the market. Next. We have also seen the journey of televisions, right? From simple television that we have at 20 years back, now it's curved ultra high definition televisions, correct? So it's an emergence of new concepts to 3D and smart televisions that finally gives to a next generation TVs, right? With the zero bezel, with curved TV, correct? With cinemascope, right? Picture quality, glass-free 3D technologies. So now there's television sets that are coming with flexible, transparent, and now we have in 4,000 pixels, 8,000 pixels, correct? Next. So with respect to pharmaceuticals, you need to have the right demand and right problem, particularly. So by any chance, did you know this company, Granules India?
No, sir.
Okay. So I request you to please visit the website of Granules India. So those who are in third year and final year BPharm, correct? Can you tell me what is meant by unit operations in pharmaceutics? What is meant by unit operations to making the tablets? So when you want to develop a tablet, right, you have an API, you have other excipients, so they need to mix up with the help of a binder, right? So there are multiple steps like weighing, sifting, mixing, granulation. So in granulation itself, we have a dry granulation, we have wet granulation, right? Then after the granulation, the step called as drying, correct? And after drying, we move towards the compression. That the granules has to be put up inside the hopper to make the compressed tablets, right? So there are multiple equipments you require, right? You require weighing machines, you require particularly mixing equipments, you require granulation equipments, correct? And finally, the compression machine, coating machine, and packaging, right? So this is the one of the unique pharmaceutical company who has find out the gap and the problems of pharmaceutical industries. So they are selling ready to compress granules. There are multiple APIs who's having much more volumes in pharmaceutical industry. I'll give you 2 or 3 names. First, metformin. Can you replace metformin from a prescription of diabetes? Yes.
No, sir.
Because it's a gold standard. Without metformin, the prescription is not complete. Correct. But have you seen the physical properties of this metformin? It's poorly compressible. Correct. Poorly compressible. Second example, ibuprofen. Brufen, the standard example, Brufen. We get it around 12 rupees for 15 tablets, right? So this Brufen, ibuprofen, the global volume of ibuprofen, did you know? 10,000 million metric ton. That is the consumption of the world. So this company started the journey 12 years back particularly, and they have selected as 2 molecules only, ibuprofen and metformin, with the help of simple granulation technology, particularly an instrument called as fluid bed process. They're simply giving a directly compressible granules with the loading starting from 80% to 96% of the dose of metformin. Now they are the largest supplier of ready to compress. They have designed the word called as drum to hopper granules to replace the conventional batch process. I call it as unit operations. So if you can see this figure, this picture, they have a 500 kg bag filled with metformin. What do you need to do? You need to just put this granules inside your hopper and just compress it. And if required, you need to do the coating and lastly the packaging, right? So this was a simple innovation by the company. Now they have taken almost 80% shares metformin. Now they took a backward integration. Now they own manufacture the API of metformin ibuprofen, and they convert this raw API into the directly compressible granules, and they sell to worldwide. Now this company is almost 2000 CR company, and the market value of this company is more than 10,000 CR. So look at this valuation of the companies based on the simple innovations. Next slide. So you can also do some of the innovations, not only in pharmaceuticals. You can also do in pesticides. You can do in specialty chemicals. You can do also in personal care. Correct. I'll give some of the example of pesticides. Some of the farmers, they are using the water soluble granules. Correct. Powders for reconstitutions. Correct. So there are some of the product innovations such as pH modified pesticides, nano zinc oxide pesticides, nutrients. Now recently, a month back, RCF, Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers, they have launched a nano urea. It is simply a product with a nano size urea. You require a lesser amount of urea for the plants. In specialty chemicals, we do lots of advantages. In the last 2 years, you are seeing the anti-germ paints by Nerolac, Asian Paints by Borjo Paints, right? Deepika is promoting some of the products like specialty chemicals, specialty paints, anti-germs. In personal care itself, I given one of the example of physical sunscreens, right? Like we have a product called a zinc oxide, titanium dioxide based physical sunscreen. This is another product which we have developed for one of the Bangalore based company. Is a vitamin C 20% anhydrous gel. So basically anhydrous and waterless system protect. So if you see some of the vitamin C serums by the companies called Sun Pharma, Cipla, they are at a 15 ml at a price of around 1,000 rupees to 1,500 rupees. But when you open this product and just within the 8 days, it gets a color change. That means this vitamin C is not stable with light or moisture particularly. So we have developed a technology particularly vitamin C anhydrous gel. So you might aware of the one of the excipient called as silicones. So silicones, we know the silicone tubings, right? But there are some of the global companies, Dow Cornings, right? There is another company called as Grant Industries in US. There are 2 Chinese companies. So they have made a silicon chemistry at a higher level. You have the products that is either in solid form, semi-solid form, and liquid form for developing the topical formulations. So we have made a 20% anhydrous gel of vitamin C for topical application for photo aging particularly. So it's one of the unique product. And my previous company, Sherry Laboratories, they have put up this product in World Cosmetic Exhibition in London in the year 2018. And we were one of the top 25 innovative products at a global level. So based on this, we have sold this product. Next slide. To some of the companies, one of the companies Bionova from Bangalore, which consists the brand name Novo White C. Also the product Euglodum gel with an triple action of vitamin C 20%. So basically the 3 ingredients, micronized vitamin C, ferulic acid and hyaluronic acid. So when we are doing the product design, we found that when you add, we got a one scientific clinical study of this vitamin C, and we found when you add a ferulic acid, which is an antioxidant from the plant origin, to vitamin C formulation, it can give double benefits. The potency of vitamin C is more than 50% rise inside the formulation, and that can also help to stabilize the formulation. So we introduced these 3 ingredients inside the product: micronized vitamin C, ferulic acid, and hyaluronic acid for the photo aging of the skin. And these are some of the launches in the market. So we also gave 2 products to Oaknet with a liposomal caffeine particular. So this liposomal caffeine is manufactured by one of the German company. Then the product that I have discussed with you is the initial product by the company Oaknet Healthcare, Zore APS, anti-pollution sunscreen with tint. That is an pink color tint. And we have also product launch in market, first time in the market, that is the Cogitin Emulsion. It's not simply the cream, or it's not particularly ointment or particular gel. It's between the two emulsion and gel particular. So as madam has said, I have a two particularly filed patent. This ibuprofen based patent that has been filed along with ACG Pharma Technologies Pune. It's in basically Shirwal. So now they have given this technology to this Granules India for ibuprofen with the particular instrument hot melt extrusion. Next. Next slide. Correct. So you need to understand the product volume and product standardization. Correct. In the initial days, you have rough ideas for the product, but as you go the higher sides, like it might be batch process, line process, or continuous process, the volumes is much more higher, and that also gives a continuous manufacturing process. Now the company Granules India is using our technology by using hot melt extrusion. Correct. Now they've shifted from the batch process, that is initially they are using the fluid bed granulation. Now they have shifted towards the continuous manufacturing technology. Now they are working 25 days continuously in a month, and they are putting up the plant for cleaning only for 5 days. So nowadays, now they have, when we are supposed to give this technology, the market share of this Granules India was around 35% global market share. When we give up this technology to Granules India, the 15% rise in market share. Last month, I was a call with the person from ACG Pharma Technologies. He said now they have installed 6 machines from our company to their manufacturing site. Now they are about to capture 50% market share with the simplest improvement in technology and the process. Next slide. So this product life cycle, basically series of changing product demand, correct? And the cycle having the various stages. You have introduction stage, your growth stage, then your maturity stage, and finally the decline stage. Correct. So you need to have a good facility, and process development in investment depends on the life cycle of the product. Next. So most importantly, by doing all these activities, you require investors, and this the particularly investors, they have lots of influence on your product life cycle. Correct. On the initial day, the influence of the stakeholders is much more higher. As the time goes, influence is get decreased, but the cost of product changes is increasing on day-by-day basis. So you need to keep a balance between the investors' interest inside your product and inside your company itself. Next slide. Okay, so there are some of the reasons for the new product failures inside the market. First reason, overestimation of market size, poor design of the product, incorrect product positioning. So you need to understand the right segment of the market. Most important, the wrong timing. Can you imagine if we have the smartphones in the year 1970s? Because if we have the product from the year 1970, we were at an era with the advanced technologies. But Steve Jobs have found the 1970s was not the right time to putting up the product inside the market. The next reason, price either too high or low for the profits. Second, ineffective promotion of your product, management influence, high development cost of your product, and the tough competition from the other players. Next. So this is basically product life cycle, correct? So we have a volumes as we go in market, as sale grows, we have a plateau, and we have a saturation phase and sales growth decline particular. Correct? Next slide. So these are the steps in new product development. I'll just remind once again: idea generation, screening of ideas, then protection of your ideas, finalizing the design and R&D part. Correct? You need to have a good business analysis, analytics, I called it, testing with the market with some of the two methods I shown to you, technical implementation at a plant, and launch the product, and most important, you need to have promotion of the product. Okay, next slide. So there are three different strategies. First, customer-centered, team-based, and systemic new product development. Next slide. So basically, customer-centered, it begins and ends with solving customer problems. Most successful new products are ones that are differentiated. Correct. Second, team-based new products, which increases the tension and confusion because each one wants to put up their ideas are at the best level. So that's why we have tension and confusions, but which is a faster but more flexible approach. Third, a systematic NPD. It creates an innovation-oriented culture and yields more large number of new product ideas. When you have a large group of from different backgrounds, they put ideas from different angles. Next. So marketing staff, you require good marketing staff to project management and with the relevant projects. Correct. So you need to understand the target group, what is their message. You also read data for the market size with respect to size, competition, their prices. Right? And you require a brand, market presence, product appearance, their final packaging. Right? You need to also have the customer needs, focus groups, and product testing that can control the entry inside the market. Correct? These all are particularly handled by the marketing and sales team. Next. And this is the job of your product development team. Design the recipe, their specifications, correct? Invention disclosure when filing the particular patents. Ecology, then toxicology with respect to environment. Finally, the performance optimization. Finally, we have the novel product or formulation. Next slide. So we just finished the first part, which is the larger one. That is we need to understand the market fit, product fit, and understood the market, what is meant by the market itself. So basically, product market fit, that is being in a good market with a product that can satisfy the particular market, right? And product market fit, that means a sizable group of people have found enough value in your product to exchange something for it. Correct. It might be the money, it might be the other aspects. Correct. Next. So I'll just skip this down. Sandeep sir, go to the slide of innovation in healthcare sector. Yes. So we require more values, better outcomes for a less, right? So healthcare industry needs an innovation, particular. So you take example of health plan, The service providers, life science companies, and governments are currently facing rising cost and inconsistent outcomes, particularly. So they are working to improve healthcare, health outcomes, while reducing the costs and spending, particularly. Slide. So what is meant by more for less? I'll say so innovation inside the healthcare sector. That means any combination of activities, technologies that break the existing performance of trade-off, I'll say business, in the attainment of outcome in a manner that expands the realm of the possibles. So more value, better outcomes, greater convenience, access and simplicity, but all this for the less cost, less complexity and time required by the patient and the provider in a way that expands what is currently possible. Next slide. So these are the top 10 healthcare innovations. You can work it out. So first, next generation sequencing. So we have a genetic sequencing to identify a risk population or target therapies to patients who are likely to respond. Then the 3D printing devices, which can give a lower cost, highly customized medical technologies products that can be tailored to suit the physical needs of the individual patients. Now we have a immunotherapy that is particularly for the anti-cancer drugs, right, that can lower up the side effects of the existing cancer therapy. Next. Then we have artificial intelligence, correct? So basically, AI is nothing but the ability of computers to think like human beings, right? And complete the various tasks currently performed by the humans with a greater speed. We require greater accuracy and lower resource utilization. Next, the point of care diagnostics, correct, which allows the convenient, timely testing at point of care, that is either at hospital, ambulance, home, correct, which results in faster, more cohesive patient care. Then we have a virtual reality. In this tough COVID situation, we have done this virtual reality by taking the online consultations of the doctors. But some of the startups, we call it as Practo, 1mg, right, NetMeds, they're also providing the virtual clinicals, virtual OPDs of doctors, particular. Next. Most important, everyone has smartphone in their hands, right? So we need to have leveraging the social media to improve the patient experience. So what they're doing, they're basically doing a tapping a data from the social medias, right, from the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, correct, and basically tapping this data from social medias and online communities to give healthcare organizations the ability to track consumer experience and population health trends in the real-time manner. And we have a biosensors, trackers. Most important, we have convenient care because the retail clinics, urgent care numbers that provide more convenient and lower cost care to patients for number of healthcare issues. Now, if you see this 10 years back, the Z Pharmacy, it was initially the generic medicine company. Now this Z Pharmacy is giving a retail franchises of generic medicines to the traditional retail pharmacy stores to promote these generic medicines. Next. And the telehealth. So it's a more convenient way for consumers to access and increase self-care with potentially reducing office visits and travel time. Correct. They also prevent the complications, emergency room visits. It's basically one type of virtual reality by taking support from the online pharmacy stores or online clinics particularly. So next slide. So how you can develop a new branch or innovative product in healthcare sector that can fit to the market. I'll share some of my good success stories and some of the products based on this two particularly things, that is the top 10 innovative areas in healthcare sector. One that I discussed the first, that is the next generation sequencing. So I'll share one story of vitamin B12 deficiency in Indian population. So we know this vitamin B12 is an essential vitamin with largely non-vegetarian origin source. So can you imagine 47% of Indian population is deficient of vitamin B12. We require 2.4 microgram per day for daily nutrition, correct? And for the absorption of this vitamin B12, we require one carrier, that is intrinsic factor. It's a glycoprotein responsible for absorption of vitamin B12. In India, almost 12% of Indian population that is missing this intrinsic factor, correct? So you have seen some of the person near to you, they have lower hemoglobin, correct? But they are always fit. Whatever doctor gives to him, hematinic syrups, they took large amount of vegetables, they eat fruits and all the stuff, but they are not giving rise in hemoglobin because they are missing that intrinsic factor. Next slide, Sandeep sir. They are missing this intrinsic factor, correct? So that was the real problem of Indian population. And for fighting with this problem, next slide, we have some of the products in the market, right? We have Neurobion food, then we have plain Neurobion, we have Neurobion injection. So all these three products is currently manufactured by Merck Industry, Merck Consumer Division. So in the year 2016, we have a project with this company at ICT Mumbai. So they want to try to develop a innovative product of vitamin B12 for Indian market, and we have developed a product. Next slide. So we have an innovative product, simply a mouth dissolving tablet of vitamin B12 that can pass the first pass metabolism, and we have also added one of the agent, the lecithin, which is a permeation enhancer. Simply this addition of lecithin, which gives the faster absorption through the suboral mucosa. So this product is currently under the phase 3 clinical trials in one of the site at Bangalore. So this product at ICT in our research laboratory by the company Merck Consumer Division. Next. So I was just reading the newspaper. This was the clipping from the Saka newspaper. You can see also on the online mode. So I found this particularly good problem, and this was one of the clinical study done by large number of doctors who are currently one of the doctor, Dr. Bora, who is at Sangli, who is one of the team member of this clinical study, and he found that the fortified tea that can help with the finding the problems that can come from our birth. Next slide. So there are almost 60% girls who are deficient with folic acid. 80% girls, they are deficient of vitamin B12. In India, every year 1.15 lakh newborn babies, they come in the world with less developed brain or having issues with CNS system. And this newborn babies having issues such as excess spinal fluid, nincompoop, or having small hole in spinal cord. And due to this abnormality during the birth itself, that leads to lifelong, we call it as physical disability. And to solve this physical disability, the parents spend excess amount of money for the medical treatment. And this also leads to the child who's having a normal life, normal siblings. So what you can do inside this product? Next, Sandeep sir. So this research team has just found out if we can have a fortified tea with an folic acid, vitamin B12, with an tea bag, right? Or simply a mixture of tea. You can have a good product that can go in every household particularly. Why tea? Because we know this tea is an household drink. It is available from the rich to poor. But I was just finding out any product, but it was not there particularly. So some of you can develop this product for Indian market, which is a huge scope for this development, because you have a clinical study that was recently published almost 10 days back. Based on this clinical study, you can have a good product for the market. Next. Then we have a point of care diagnostics, right? Akshay Kumar is extensively promoting Covishield, right? It's a self-diagnostic kit at your home only, right? So you can develop this kit also. Next. So we have also done one of the innovative kit for fighting the BV, that is bacterial vaginosis, correct? So basically, next slide. So you can find out some of the data why this BV is happening. So we have done a product basically detection of the one kind of enzyme. So you can also develop the product that can detect a change in pH in vaginal area. Currently, this product is under development, so it will take another 1 year to come up from approval from SEDESCO. Okay, next slide. So I'll just tell in short the journey of my company, Novetra Lab Private Limited. So we have founded in the year 2017 at Thane. With the support of ICT Mumbai, we are developing so many innovative products to healthcare industry, particularly formulations, which is based on scientific knowledge. Currently, we have 8 products in our hand. Next, Sandeep sir. So we have these 3 innovative products in the market, particularly vitamin C and basically and name Nove Piles tablet for the piles management, particularly. Then we have a herbal tablets and lotion for the varicose veins with the brand name called Ventone. It's a patented product. And then we have a simple product, Luliconazole 1% with the brand name Lulivit. So based on the first 2 products, our company has got startup recognition from the government of India under healthcare and life science category. Next. So this Luliconazole cream, a simple product with an innovation in product itself. So we know this BCS classification, right? Biopharmaceutical classification, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. I simply found out this molecule within the class 2 range, which is having issue of water solubility and also the issue of lipid permeability. And I found out the patent of the innovator. It's a Japanese company who has discovered this molecule. And I found this innovator has been used medium chain triglycerides and isopropyl myristate to improve the permeation of this drug across the stratum corneum. And instead of this 2 ingredient, I simply added the lecithin, phospholecithin inside our product. And we have also done some of the clinical studies in human cadaver skin at ICT Mumbai, and we found our product was 2.5 times higher permeable as compared to the market competitors. And this was the technology inside the product. Now this is the common name in Maharashtra for our product, Lulivit cream. This Nove Piles, which is one of the unique product in venoactive category. It's basically working to improve the strength of your venous system, particular. It's a colon targeted drug delivery of vitamin C and proanthocyanidin at a site of action. It's one of the unique composition for piles So majority doctors in Maharashtra, they are now recommending our product for the piles management for stage 1 to stage 2 piles. For stage 3 and stage 4, we call it grade 3, grade 4, surgery is the only option. Okay, next. So I have for some of the faculties who doing projects for the students. I'll share this story of my product Ventone. When I was a professor at Ashok Ramani College of Pharmacy, Pet Padagaon, some of my UG and master's students, I've done a research at college only. We found that there is no product for varicose vein in India. I'll say good product for varicose veins. So we found that laser surgery is only option currently for this varicose veins, and which is costing more than 1 lakh per surgery. And after the surgery itself, the doctor cannot give assurance that you cannot develop the varicose veins. Okay, so we found that herbal actives can be a better option for the management, and we found that horse chestnut, a simple plant, the nuts of this plant, horse chestnut, is having a good promising data, scientific data. There are multiple companies in India, they are selling this extract at 2,600 rupees per kg. But when we found a good process and one of the clinical studies, we found that inside this extract, there are 2 particular contents who's showing that particular response for managing this varicose veins. I found a good product in European market particularly, and they are using this alpha ecin in oral active form. And when I was searching out this purified extract, I found one company in Bangalore. They are selling the purified extract with the brand name Venosine. So they have a alpha ecin, which is a topical active, and a beta ecin. So we found that this purified form of ecin can help to have a better product. So we have also combined another 2 herbs and this purified actives of ecin to form an oral tablet for the management and a topical lotion for the management of varicose vein. We have filed a patent and we are launching this product in the year December. So what are the key learnings from today's session? So you need to find out the needs, solution, and product for the need is nearby you only. You need to have eyes open to select the right product fit. Most important, the scientific knowledge is open, right? From Google, you can find out lots of scientific data near to you. You need to read it. You need to understand it, correct? To dig out the backup for your product. Along with this, you need to understand the market analysis. Next slide, Sandeep sir. You need to also do market analysis to fit the right innovative product inside the market. And since SCOP has the most active IIC, you need to talk to experts. You need to talk to your teachers, correct? To take right guidance from them. They are always ready to support and help to give the right path to your startups. Most importantly, you need to file the trademarks, patents to protect your IP, because you are putting your money, you are putting your time to develop the product. If somebody come in market with the same technology, you will get out of the market in just years or in just months of time, and you will lose your money. So if you got a good trademarks and patents, nobody can come in market and take your property. Commercial angles are many more, because it's not the right platform to understand your different regulatory pathways. Like it's an allopathic, an Ayurvedic, or nutraceuticals, correct? Or medical devices. But when you talk to your experts, they will give the right commercial angles to follow the right regulatory path. under which domain you need to launch the product. Most importantly, you should have a good team, mixed culture for better success of your startups or your particularly product development. You need a good research and development person, you need a good operation persons, you need a good marketing guy, and most importantly, you need someone who can connect all these four peoples. And when you work together, the chances of success are minimum. And lastly, never lose hopes, because future is yours. You are the budding scientist. Next. So if you're not seen this movie, I request you see this movie, Shawshank Redemption. And in the end of this movie, there is one famous quote from the Red. Remember Red. Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of the things, and no good things ever dies. So do your best, do good things. If you fail, you have lots of time to proceed with the success. You have an age in your hand, which is the most important asset right now to develop this successful product. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful views. It was the most stimulating. We shall now proceed to the question and answer session. Participants are requested to raise their hand in order to ask a question. You may also put the question in the chat box.
Sandeep sir,
हाँ sir.
I think if participants, we will wait if they have any question. Meanwhile, I have one question. I think Dr. Santosh can.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah. So it was a very nice talk by you. You covered almost all the aspects of product development and many other things. I'm sure that all the students will think in this term. If you could share that most of our students are undergraduate students, and some of are postgraduate who are working in these pharmaceutics area, or maybe in pharmacology. Which will be the good areas to work in? Can you just guide my students so that they can work in that area?
I'll recommend they should go firstly in pharmaceutics. There's a huge scope for product development. Correct. And secondly, I'll recommend pharmacology, because pharmacology is a branch where we can develop lots of new methodologies for testing of the products particularly. I'll share some of my experiences. Though my graduation, post-graduation in drug delivery science, specifically formulation science, we were actively in developing newer models for analyzing the claims. Because when you have, because I'm not recommending chemistry, because when you go in industry itself, you have lots of competition from MSc graduates, MSc persons, and they are ready to take up the job at a smaller payouts. But when
Yeah.
you have a good career in pharmacology itself, you can develop some of the good methodologies for testing of your pharmaceuticals. I'll share, sir, one example. When we were at Sheril, we are developing one product for company Sun Pharmaceuticals. So it was a product called as baby shampoos. And the competitor for the product is Johnson Baby Shampoos, right? So
Okay.
basically, it's a surfactant-based products. We have also developed the product similar of its composition, but that need to be tested. So we done lots of research articles. We surveyed all this activity, and we found one good methodology for testing the product, that is HitCam study. All of you are aware of the HitCam study,
Yeah.
hence chorioallantic membrane test.
Yeah.
But we found this Johnson Johnson research paper from US itself, and it was written when we have eggs, incubated eggs of 15 days, they have a similar structure, almost 90% relevant to human eyes.
Oh,
Correct. So we have simply done product testing in this ETCAM study with the some of our pharmacological guides at ICT Mumbai.
okay.
And from that day, I found the pharmacology is very interesting field, and some of the persons they can also go for toxicological evaluation, because this major companies like TCS, Cognizant, they have a separate department for understanding toxicology of the raw materials.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Uh,
Any more questions?
yes, sir. Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Melt granulation technology, is there any disadvantage or of this technology, or a destruction, like destruction of chemical excipients or some API? Is there any?
Yeah, there is a disadvantage of this technology that you cannot use for hot temperature liable drugs.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Okay. I think Ravina has some question. Ravina, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you so much, sir. Santosh sir, for giving such a wonderful talk over this product development. I have a specific question. Like, this pandemic has created a lot of buzz in our life, in the students' life. Actually, whatever we study in the theory, we actually want to put it into the practicals. But then what happens is, like, in this lockdown, we never got a chance to go visit our college as well. So I basically wanted that whenever I study anything, for example, yesterday I studied edible vaccine. So whenever I study, I feel as if I should put it into the practicals. I should try it out if it could be possible from me. So is there any virtual platform through which we can get into the trials and trial and error through which I can work it out? So you are an expert person. So please, can you guide me on that?
No, basically you cannot do an virtual practicals, virtual trial and errors, but you can understand the process of particularly formulations. There are so many particularly websites. If you can visit the Cambridge Chem software particularly, okay. So you can find some of the good information of the products like vaccines, okay. If you can visit the Royal Society of Chemistry website, there is a particularly different tab for understanding the practicals. Okay, and if you can also visit the websites of some of the IITs like IIT Mumbai, IIT Bangalore, they can have their virtual platforms to understand the practicals. So they're basically in the, I can say, chemistry part and also for the medical sciences. Okay, Ravina.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank.
Okay. Any other question? Do you have another question from any participant?
I'll take one question.
Yes. Any more question from the faculty?
My email ID and mobile number is with Sandeep Gadve, sir. You
Yeah.
can write down an email to me, or you can also drop me a message on WhatsApp. So I can always there for the institutes, because I know the potential when we collaborate with institutes.
Yes.
They are
Yeah.
always the budding scientists.
Actually,
Yes.
I was about to say the same thing because looking at your expertise, it will be very nice for us to have some collaborative work in future.
Sure, definitely, sir. No problem.
Yeah.
So I think we should move forward
Yeah. Yeah.
for vote
Sandeep
of
sir, you
thanks.
just
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Aishwarya.
I now request Mrs. Sushma Chaugule ma'am to present the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Am I audible?
Yes.
Madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, one and all. Thank you so much, sir, for such wonderful session. I'm sure this session will be beneficial to all of us in this pandemic situation. On behalf of Siagat College of Pharmacy, Vadgaon, Pune, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. It gives immense pleasure to conclude today's Siagat College of Pharmacy Institute Innovation Council e-session with a great sense of gratitude. I express my thanks to Honorable Founder President Professor M.N. Navle Sir, Honorable Secretary Dr. Mrs. Sunanda M. Navle Ma'am, Honorable Vice President Admin Mrs. Rachna Navle Ashtekar Ma'am, and Honorable Vice President IACHA Mr. Rohit M. Navle Sir, for their constant support, providing all the facilities and infrastructure. It is indeed a great pleasure to have Dr. Santosh Gesge Sir as a chief guest and resource persons. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence. I sincerely thanks respected principal Dr. R.B. Patil Sir, who has been a driving force for the program. Our heart-left thanks to all the participants for the active participation. Especially thanks to organizing committee, all the HODs, all the teaching and non-teaching staff for the support and coordination. Now I would like to request all the participants to kindly put their videos on for a group photo.
Okay. Suvarna madam, have taken the photos?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Patil sir and Sandeep Gadve sir. I need to take a leave from you because I am another session. I'm a faculty
Yeah,
at
yeah,
ICT
yeah, sure.
campus.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I have my
sure,
lectures
sure.
planned. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Thank you
for
very much.
your invitation and your support.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sir.
We'll see
We will
you.
Thank you, sir.
Can have a call with you, Patil sir. No problem.
yeah,
I'll take
yeah,
your
sure,
number
sure.
from Gadve sir.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure,
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sure.
everyone.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Uh, I request all the participants to please fill the feedback form. The link for the form has been put up in the chat box. Please fill it. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Dr. R.B. Patil, Principal President IIC SCOP, Dr. Nisha Rani Ranpise, Innovation Ambassador SCOP, Mr. Sandeep Gadave Sir, Activity Coordinator SCOP, Dr. Sadhna Raut, Conveyor IIC SCOP, without whom this session would not have been as successful as it was. Thank you. I thereby conclude today's session with Sir's permission.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right, sir.